Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. I want to go ahead and talk today about what to do when opportunities present themselves when maybe the money isn't really there. Now, before we get into this video, make sure that you like, subscribe, make sure that you're notified on all of our upcoming videos. So let's go ahead and get started. So I saw a post today from a friend of mine who's also in a band. I'm not going to drop the name, but it's something that when I saw the post, I really was like, we should actually talk about this. This actually brought a really good topic for this video. So how many of you are artists out there and you've been growing, you've been scaling, and you get to this point to where opportunities are coming in left and right and you're taking in all these potential opportunities, but all of those opportunities come with a price tag, right? So throughout my career, I've been in all of these scenarios, all of these situations to where the band grew before the finances grew, right? So if you're an artist out there that's dealing with these exact same things, here's a couple key points I can give you. So for one, when you grow, obviously you're just going out and grinding. You're going out and you're playing the shows. Sometimes maybe you're buying onto shows or buying onto festivals and just trying to take whatever opportunities that you can financially take care of and cover yourself, whether it's brand income or individual income, which would be earned income from all the individual members, putting it together into a pot and paying for said opportunity. Now, when it comes to bigger opportunities, so to give you an example, I was in a band, we went on tour with Static X. Great experience. We made a lot of profitability from that opportunity, but to get that opportunity came with a really heavy price tag. And I'm talking into the tens of thousands of dollars. Now, trust me, when we saw the number, the first initial reaction, right, is how do we cover this? Right. So, we went to each other's individual incomes like, hey, how can we come up with over $10,000 in this allotted amount of time to be able to pay for said opportunity? Now, when you run into these scenarios and you don't have the financial income, then you really have to look externally to see who could maybe be an investor, who could maybe sit there and say, hey, I'll help fund this investment for you to get this opportunity. And then you create a contract in place, which is going to be obligated to you to pay a certain percentage or to the full percentage back to them at an allotted time frame. And also you got to give it that time frame to be able for you to come up with the money because you don't want to be out of compliance with contract. Right. So anything that you put in writing that's signed by anybody else, including yourself, is legally obligated for you. It's a binding contract. So there's a couple different ways that you can go about doing this when it comes to looking for, let's say, investors, right? So if you have a certain amount of reach, you have a certain amount of fan base, exposure, following, whichever we want to call it. Within that following, you might be able to set up, most people use like GoFundMe's and things like that, but I wouldn't really necessarily start with a GoFundMe. But what I would do is I would reach out looking for investors to find out who could we find that could be able to help put in maybe a couple grand or maybe even to the degree of the full amount due to having a contracted obligation from you, the band, to be able to pay that back. So I would usually try and so if you're going to do the contract thing, or if you're going to try and get a document together to where you can pitch this document to a select group of people to where you can be like, okay, so if my goal is 11 grand or my goal is 20 grand. So you break that down over the course of like 12 months to where even if that opportunity that you are applying for, to where if you get the money from the investors and you can pay for that exposure and also pay for that opportunity, you're not specifically relying on that opportunity to pay that off. Now, I'll tell you with, for example, the Static X tour, we made a lot of money, but we were also playing to like 4,000 capacity sold out crowds. So, I mean, between that and we weren't getting paid, so we were just going off of merch income per night. But with the merch income over the course of an allotted, I think it was like 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks, we were able to almost triple our investment of what we put in to buy onto that tour. So if you run into this situation, it's hard to look at the opportunities and think that, okay, well, there's no way, we have to immediately turn it down. Well, I would say keep the conversation open to see what the deadline is for you to pay that specific price tag. Then I would at least use maybe 3 weeks. So let's say you have 3 months to pay it off. I would at least take the first 4 weeks and everything that you've been doing for grinding with like promoting singles and all your promotion as a band. I would spend just 4 weeks specifically on searching and going to anybody that you may know that could invest into your brand and your opportunity. Now, with a contract, it makes it more plausible and more, I guess, easy for them to want to actually invest in your product because there is a binding obligation for you to pay off set amount. So if you have multiple investors, so you got a few here that are paying a couple grand, a few here that are paying a little bit more, then you get the same contract under the same time frame to be able to get that back. And then also too, you can pay percentages back to that over the course of each month. So you take, let's say it's 15 grand or 20 grand, and you're trying to get this investment for this opportunity that starts in 3 months, but in your contract and what you have put in as obligation to you, to the investor, that you put it out for 12 months. Now, the reason I say 12 months is because whatever you do not compensate towards that final end goal price tag that you've had an investor or multiple investors pay into, this gives you 12 months to also do in other shows, other festivals, or anything that you have going on that can also pay that off, and then break it down into 12 months. And so it's like, okay, in 12 months, we break down 15 grand or 20 grand. How much is this per month? And then you look at that number and that's like, okay, can we alleviate a majority of this on the opportunity that we're applying for, and then that we get that opportunity. So we go out on the road with said national band or nationally known band, and then we take all of the income or the majority of the income that you make per night on that tour and put it back and send it back to the investors. And then I would keep racking up shows from month to month to month to where at least whatever that monthly cost is, you get closest to that number as possible, and then at least pay a certain percentage per month. And then whatever is the remainder as it gets closer to that 12-month period, then you can actually go ahead and pay off the rest, even if it's from earned income that you're using, because you have 12 months to provide that, remaining cost. So for all you artists out there that may be dealing with, we've got opportunities now, we've grown, we've actually built a name and a brand for ourselves currently, and we're just trying to grow, and this opportunity is going to help us grow. Your fans, your investors are going to be backing you not only financially, but they're also going to be backing you because they believe in your brand and your product. Because the quicker that you as an artist can understand that your band is a brand, your band is a business, and the more that you operate as a business, the more opportunities you'll be able to take and the more things that you'll be able to have happen for you and twice as fast. So hope this helped you guys. Thank you guys for checking out this video. Like I said, remember, like, subscribe, and be notified on any and all videos that we've got coming up here because we want to bring you guys the most value. Follow us on all major platforms here at Mainstage Music Group, and we look forward to getting you guys in the next video.